Hi, hello everybody. I'm Justin. This is Koopa. Welcome to Koopa's Corner. Today we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event. We've had a couple of them. This one is May 2025. It's this upcoming Saturday, May the 24th, actually. And should be a decent showing. Last couple of events, WrestleMania, Backlash, have all been a little lackluster. And, this one is on paper kind of the same, but hopefully, with all the talent involved, they exceed expectations. And I think it's got a lot of potential to be a pretty decent night of wrestling. There are 4 matches on the card instead of the usual 5 for PLEs, but this is a pseudo PLE. It's not like a true PLE. So 4 instead of 5, that's okay. We're going to talk about them now, and we're going to start off what I think is going to probably open the show is John Cena versus R-Truth. And I love the idea of this feud, right? I know that John Cena has limited dates, and you kind of hate to see him wasting one of his limited dates in a match with someone like R-Truth, who's just nowhere close to being on his level. But there's story here, right? And it elevates this contest, and it makes it a fun contest. And what's the point of wrestling if we're not going to have fun watching it? So R-Truth going up against his childhood hero, John Cena. Now, I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind that John Cena is going to win. And he should win, to be perfectly honest. Could you imagine R-Truth walking out of this World Heavyweight Champion? But, I think that despite how obvious the outcome is going to be, there's magic in the way they get there. And I think John Cena needs to win. And maybe, in a perfect world for me anyway, I think this is how I would book it. And it doesn't have to be exactly like this, but something along the lines of, after the match, John Cena continues to beat down R-Truth. Like, he just starts whooping his ass. Cody Rhodes makes his big return. He runs out. He makes the save. He fights off John Cena, chases him off. Then he helps Truth up, and he gives Truth a hug. And then Truth does the same fucking heel turn John Cena did at Elimination Chamber. They're hugging, and then all of a sudden Truth drops his smile, gets this look, and kicks Cody right in the balls. And so then R-Truth mimics his childhood hero. If John Cena's going to be bad, then R-Truth is going to be bad, because that's what his childhood hero did. And then we have a storyline where heel R-Truth, kind of goes through the low card after that. He's more involved in stories, and it's against, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller types, those kind of guys. He's, down the card a little bit, but he's mirroring John Cena's heel turn. I think there's just a lot of potential in that. So I think that I'm okay with this match. They should, 2 veterans, man, 2 guys who've been doing this for decades. They're going to put on a decent showing, and hopefully, there's story to be told coming out of this. I think that's going to be the key. Next up, I think we'll see the steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Damien Priest. These guys are facing each other again. And I love Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is like the MVP on the roster. He consistently shows up and shows out. He consistently performs in the ring, on the mic. He's got the look. He's got the character. His storytelling, especially all last year with CM Punk, has just been on fire. And Damien Priest is struggling to keep up, and he's struggling to be elevated. And this feud feels like it's going on a little too long. Hopefully this will be their last encounter. Personally, I'd love to see Drew McIntyre win and sort of worm his way back up the card into title contention. And so that's my prediction. I don't think that there's really much good in Damien Priest winning. He's won enough. I think the story has been okay. Damien Priest can maybe go on to compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match, He had a much more successful run with the briefcase than Drew McIntyre did, and so having him in there, I think helps elevate it. I don't think he should win that, but we'll talk about that down the road. I think we'll let him tell a little bit more of the stories, and we'll do our preview and predictions before that event. But I think that's a good place for Damien Priest. Put him in the ladder match. Whereas Drew McIntyre, I want to see Drew McIntyre, climb the ranks a little bit more, man. He's consistently performing at an S tier level significantly more than Damien Priest does. So that's my opinion. Next up, there's a tag team match, and that's going to be Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker, and they're going to face Sami Zayn and CM Punk. There's a couple different ways they could play this out. You see a lot of people online talking about the way that Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn were all sort of lined up in the ring, facing off against Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman, up the ramp. That the imagery paralleled, the authority up the ramp with the Shield in the ring, and the chair shot heard around the world when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. There's always a plan B. And a lot of people think Sami Zayn could turn on CM Punk if they sort of mimic that. I think there's a lot of potential in that. We had a heel Sami Zayn kind of not that long ago, it feels like. I mean, I guess it's been at least a year or two. But, Sami Zayn could be an interesting addition to the group. Conversely, CM Punk could turn on Sami Zayn. They could go for kind of a similar thing. I don't think that's as likely, right? Seth and Punk are both sort of bigger stars, so I don't see Punk joining the group and sort of being a lackey in the group. So less likely, but possible. Or because it's a Saturday night's main event and they might want to stretch this out a little bit, it could just be a nice clean tag match. I think that really, if it's a nice clean tag match, Seth and Breakker sort of need that momentum more to sort of establish their group, their pairing. And I do think we should expect a third member to that group at some point, and at some point soon. Whether or not it's Sami Zayn or CM Punk or somebody different. It just feels incomplete right now. It feels like it needs one more member. So TBD on who that could be, right? Like a couple of options in the air. I really think that the Sami Zayn option is a pretty good option. I just hate to see a heel Sami Zayn again so soon. Like, I think he just is a much better babyface. And I'd really love to see him be more in the spotlight than Seth Rollins' lackey. I'd love to see him face Jey Uso for the title. I'd love to see him beat Jey Uso for the title. I think Sami Zayn is somebody who absolutely deserves a world title reign. And it's never going to happen if he's in that group with Seth Rollins, right? Because Seth is going to be the one who goes for the title. He's going to be the star. Breakker and Sami Zayn or whoever are going to be more his lackeys. And I don't personally want to see that. Though I think that there's a lot of storytelling potential for it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a nice clean tag match where maybe we get introduced to the surprise third member of the group. Maybe we don't yet. But I'm going to think that Seth Rollins steals the victory. And then the main event, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. I thought this match was supposed to happen at Backlash. It did not. I did not realize at the time that they were advertising for this already. They sort of skipped over Backlash. And I think that this one is also pretty obvious. Logan Paul does not walk away with the world title. I think Logan Paul as a world champion is a brilliant idea. I think the kind of heat that he would draw is going to be off the charts. It would be, nuclear heat. I mean, honestly, is so good. Especially taking the title off of someone like Jey Uso, who just is mid. He's he's just not that good. he's popular, he's over, but he's not like that good in the ring, and he can't really cut a promo worth a damn. So he's an entrance, man. He's a glorified entrance, and he's really popular. And he got his moment in the sun. He's got his flowers for getting over. He had his world title reign. I don't want it to be a long title reign. I would rather see Logan Paul as champion. I think that sounds like it's got a lot more potential to be entertaining. But it's just not going to happen here. It's not going to happen now, right? They've already are looking past this, by introducing Gunther back into the mix. And I think Gunther's going to probably make his presence felt, probably help Jay to win because he wants to take the title off of Jay himself. I don't like that they're running back Gunther and Jay so soon. I don't think Gunther needs to be eating another loss. Like, his losses have been few and far between, and they've all kind of meant something, and his loss against Cody last year really killed a lot of his aura, and his loss against Jay didn't do him any favors. And I don't think he needs to eat another loss, particularly to Jay, yet. I think that it makes more sense to hold off on that. I would love for Logan Paul to steal the win and then do Gunther versus Logan Paul. I think Gunther could take the title. Logan Paul can be like a hot potato champion. Just enough to call himself a world champion, There's potential there. Also depending on who else they want to introduce into the title mix, right? Jey Uso would still be around competing for it. Seth Rollins wants in. I'm sure Punk has a case to be made. You have some sort of multi-man match down the road. There's a couple different options, but I think that the most boring and also the most likely, my final prediction, Jey Uso takes a beating for most of the match. He dodges a brass knuckle punch and hits him with a super kick, splash off the top rope. And that's 75% of his moveset anyway. He gets the W, and then they spend the last 20 minutes of the show yeeting. And then Saturday night's main event is over, and we move on with our lives. So that's my predictions. I think that the storytelling implications here are minimal, right? This definitely feels like a pass-through event. We've already started having Money in the Bank qualifying matches on Raw and on SmackDown. We have a few contenders already in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think we just swiftly move on to Money in the Bank. And I think that has a lot more storytelling implications and a lot more, landscape-altering implications than Saturday night's main event. Should be a pretty fun night, but it should be a pretty low-stakes night. So I wouldn't hold my breath too much for too big of moments, right? And maybe I'm wrong. If you guys think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you think this is going to have some really big future-altering implications. And, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, we'll see you in the next one.